So this is not fake news. This is actually something that is taking place right now, and it actually was announced within the last 24, 48 hours. And so if you guys remember Diella, she's an artificial intelligence thing, and she was appointed to the Albanian parliament by the Prime Minister of Albania. And so the thing that we're going to be talking about here should kind of shock us, but we're actually living in a time period where not many things shock us so much because we're completely drenched in information. Whether it's true or not is, up to your discernment. But this right here is rather shocking. And the thing that they just announced is that she is pregnant with 83 children. And so the Prime Minister of Albania announced on Saturday, the 25th of October, that Diella is soon to give birth to more than 80 AI children, with each one assisting a member of parliament. He explained that they will participate in parliamentary sessions, keep records, and inform MPs on how to react. And so I just want to pause right there real fast because I want you to really, really reflect on what is happening in our world. You and I are being programmed to ask artificial intelligence a question. That is a normal thing in our world right now. If you have a question about something, type it into, ChatGPT or Grok or whatever, and you are asking a thing a question, and that thing gives you a response. And so that's a normal thing, a normal way of life. And so that's normal for you and I, but now it's being injected into the government. It's probably already been there, if we're being real with one another, but now it's being displayed in a very open kind of format. And so now they are claiming that Diella, who is an artificial intelligence, is going to soon give birth, which means that her influence is going to spread. They are giving her or it more responsibility. And so you are seeing a human government being mixed with a artificial intelligence government, kind of like iron mixing with clay. And so it's an interesting thing to watch unfold right in front of our eyes. Now, her children, or Diella's children, will assist with giving reports, generating reports for better decision making. So these things are going to tell you how to do something better. Do you see how influential AI has become? And this has all taken place. This was just announced. The Diella was just appointed to the Albanian government just a couple months ago, and now it's already expanding. The web is already growing further and further within the government, and so you're seeing it taking place already in a very real scene over there in Albania, which means that is a domino effect that is going to start coming down in other places throughout the world. The digital offspring collectively represents the next stage in Albania's digital governance. Isn't that crazy? Next stage. This is what we have to look forward to. Now, I think it's interesting that Diella in Albanian, at least, means sun. And so when you think about sun, you think about a light. Now, when I'm thinking about a light, knowing and understanding about artificial intelligence in general, I'm thinking of a false light, because we already understand that artificial intelligence is ramping up. It's going to be artificial superintelligence soon. And so when you think about it being a false light, well, who does that remind you of? Well, to me, it reminds me of Lucifer. And if you read the Bible in Isaiah 14, Ezekiel 28, we learn that he is this person who was created full of wisdom. So this thing that we have all of the intelligence that's going to gain superpowers and stuff like that sometime in the future is being modeled after somebody that was created full in wisdom. And so the question is, how do we have something that is basically living, artificial intelligence, all of the water and all of the things that it needs, the energy that it needs to consume stuff? How is this even a real thing? It's like a real thing. It's a real living thing. And so it's fascinating when you just, entertain that thought for a second. But it is a false light. And so I just think it's interesting that they purposefully named it after something that, exhibits light, because Satan is a false light. But AI Minister Diella, she aims to eliminate corruption and restore public trust in governance. Now, why this is remarkable to me is because this is what a thing is going to attempt to do, because people are losing their trust in people. Humanity is losing its trust in humanity. And you know what the solution is? Artificial intelligence, because they can be trusted. And so if you ask a normal thinking person, they're going to be like, hey, would you trust a politician, or would you trust an artificial intelligence? And most people would think about trusting an artificial intelligence thing. because they would make arguments about how they're not going to be corrupt. Well, it all depends on who is programming that thing. And so we need to understand that. But what is so remarkable out of all of this is how it ties directly with the Bible, because we know that there's going to be a one world system sometime enacted in the future from where we are today, and it's going to basically control whether or not people who are around during that time buy or sell. And so the only way that that world could ever even exist is if there was artificial intelligence who sees all things all at the same time and monitor, and has that surveillance kind of on lock. And so that is what is being injected into the already existing programs. And so this is the worst our artificial intelligence will ever be in the history of forever. It is only going to get better and better and better. And it's not kind of slowly getting better, it is skyrocketing better. And that is wild. And it's interesting when you consider how much artificial intelligence takes to feed it. Because here, I thought it was interesting that Google unveils this plan to restart this US nuclear plant to power AI infrastructure. And so you're seeing it needs food. You know, it's requiring some kind of energy, this food. You know, like how you and I consume like a bag of chips or something like that. Well, this thing needs food as well. And so they're trying to feed it. Why? So that they can grow. And so it's so interesting seeing the world in general. It's not a race for military weapons. It's a race for super intelligence. And so we're seeing it. It's not just being done here in America. It's being done over in Russia and China. There is a race to this finish line, and both or all the teams that are involved are in a full sprint. There is no regulations or anything that is kind of restraining any kind of artificial intelligent capability. And so it's remarkable seeing that and seeing how we're all just full sending it into this unknown kind of abyss. And so what do you guys think? Do you think that something like this is already in our government, that is already kind of calling the shots behind the scenes in a very, very covert kind of manner? Or do you think it's going to stop here in Albania? Because if I had to guess, I would say that it's going to spread if it's already not going on, which I would guess that it's already taking place. I think this is already being done behind the scenes with, the supercomputers and whatnot in the quantum field and how crazy that whole topic is. But I think that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think that this is getting people used to the idea of looking at an image and then listening to what the image says, because we're already used to talking to our phone when we say certain key phrases that, wakes up our phone. But now it's not just talking to our phone and it talking back to us. Now we're going to look at something on our phone. We're going to see an image, and that image is going to be kind. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be friendly, all of these things. And it's going to speak back to us. And we're going to develop a relationship with this image. And then next thing you know, we're going to be listening to it because this thing is so much smarter than we are. And so you're seeing something rise up that has not happened before. And I need you guys to remember in Genesis chapter, 11, God goes down to the Tower of Babel and he looks around at what humanity is doing. And he says nothing that they are going to try to achieve will be unachievable. And so he basically doesn't stop them from achieving what they want to do. He basically slows them down. And he does that by confusing them with their languages. And so that was a temporary barricade or an obstacle that God set up just to slow them down. But right now we're living in a world where that obstacle no longer exists. Now we're living in a world where you can have a conversation with anybody in any language right now, real time, and all you need to do is just put a little white thing in your ear and you can just listen to them talk to you in whatever language, and you can talk back to them in whatever language, and everybody knows what everybody is saying. Guys, what a time to be alive. We need to tell people about Jesus as much as we possibly can. We are on a rescue mission down here. There's only one way to get to heaven. It is by putting your faith in Jesus Christ and your faith in him and him alone. It is for by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast.